Hey everyone, it's Stan Heller here. You know, to avoid mistakes and prosper this earnings season, it's really essential to know your earnings dates. For risk management purposes, before you make any decision to buy or sell a stock, you need to know if it has an earnings date coming soon. When you do know the date, you can take some protective measures if that's required. You can do your research and you can avoid buying a stock just in front of earnings when you're uncertain about the result of that earnings report. Here, for example, IBM reported on July 18th. You can see the earnings marker that we can put on our graphs in VectorVest. And although it met estimates for earnings, its forward-looking guidance was very weak or pessimistic, and as a result, price dropped about 6% and has continued to fall. So it's important to know the date of the upcoming earnings so that you can be defensive or protect against something like this happening. You'll notice VectorVest one-year forecasted earnings was already showing us that there's the potential of a weak earnings report. This is a one-year forward-looking earnings forecast. So what we're going to learn during this quick video session is the top 3 ways to get earnings dates in the VectorVest software. We'll start with the events viewer, move to the Unisearch tool, and then portfolio manager. And what I'm going to show you is applicable to all our VectorVest countries. Very similar search and viewing criteria. So US, Canada, Europe, UK, and Australia, it all works the same. So with that, let's go to our VectorVest US software, and I've got it set to the Viewers tab, the Viewers Home, and if I come down to the bottom of the control panel, I can double click on the Events viewer, and it opens it up, and we can see all the stocks that have earnings on July 21st. I can click on the dividend X dates and the dividend pay dates, and then I can just see the earnings for that date coming forward. And I've got a range here up to October 21st, viewing all stocks, and if I scroll down using the bar over at the right, then I can look at the dates coming forward. So at a glance, I can see all the dates of all the stocks that have earnings on a particular day. I can also filter by any stock or a group of stocks. For example, I might want to see Apple and find out when its upcoming earnings is. And immediately I can see it's on July 28th. I can also scroll down here and filter by watch list. So if you have a watch list of stocks that you are following, for example, maybe the S&P 100 or S&P 500, here we have the Dow Jones Industrials right here. So I can see the earnings dates for those 30 stocks all in a row here and see when they are coming up. Right, so that's the first way, using our events viewer. The second way to find your earnings dates is using the Unisearch tool, and I've opened it up to a blank search for the moment, and I'll just add some criteria. So we're looking for stocks, capital appreciation, and the earnings date. And I might want to just see if I'm thinking about buying a stock right away. I might want to see which stocks have an earnings date coming up within the next 1 to 5 days, for example. So I would click on less than or equal to in the operator field, and then I can click on custom and type in 5, or I can use the up and down arrows as well. So now I'm just seeing the stocks that have earnings date from July 20th going forward 5 days. And it's sorted by value safety timing. That's a default sort. You can change the sort, but now I have a good idea some good quality companies that have earnings coming up in the next 5 days or so. And of course, I can change the operator. Maybe I just want to avoid companies that have earnings coming up soon, so I can just change it to only looking at stocks greater than or equal to, and maybe I want to go out 30 days to make sure I don't buy a stock that has earnings coming up in the next week or two. So now we're looking for stocks that have earnings on August 26 or so going forward, and I can avoid those stocks, or I can purchase those stocks knowing that they've got earnings coming up. There's Costco, for example, again sorted by VST, and of course we can add this criteria to any of our favorite searches. For example, let's just see where we have a search here. We can just grab one, for example. Here's searches retirement, blue chip bonanzas, for example. So it's got pre-built criteria. And if I want to add criteria, I'd go stocks, capital appreciation, earnings date. And again, maybe I don't want to look at any stocks that have an earnings date coming up in the next 30 days or so. So I'll click on greater than or equal to, and I'll go 30 days out. And now I can run my search. These are the top stocks that have the dates 30 days out for earnings. So I can make some decisions around that. And I can save this search if I like. Just click on the save icon up at the top left here and click on save as if I want to save it to search folder like my long searches, and it's a long search. Give it a name, for example, with earnings, and then click OK, and that will save it. And that first search we set up you can save as well, and then you're all set for the next time. All right, so that's the second top way that we can find those earnings dates, and the last one that I'll show you is under our portfolios tab. So here we have the S&P portfolio that I've got going in this account, and you can see the stocks that we have in the portfolio and the date they were purchased and the return on investment so far year to date. And what I'll do is add the earnings date so that I can see at a glance with stocks that I own when the next earnings date is coming up. So I'll just right click in the top row with that stock highlighted. In the drop down menu that opens, I'll come down to the layout and just left click on it. It opens up a control panel, and I'll just scroll down a little bit. I've got them grouped here by field. So here's earnings date under capital appreciation. So I'll left click to highlight it, left click on the right forward facing arrow. It adds the earnings date to the bottom of my panel, so that would be at the far right of my viewer, portfolio viewer. And if I want to move it up, I'll just left click on it to highlight, and maybe I want it a little closer to the front. So I'm just moving it up, and I'll put it right after the purchase date. And then I'll click OK. So now we have the purchase date, we have the earnings date that's coming up for each of the stocks that I own in my portfolio. So you can't miss it. It's front and center. Every time you look at your portfolio, you're going to see the earnings date, and you know that you have to do some research and really think about whether you're stock through earnings or take some other defensive action, selling half your shares or selling all your shares, buying a protective put, whatever action you consider appropriate with earnings coming up soon. So with that, I want to thank you for watching. I'll just go to the next slide and let you know that if you like this kind of content, please do smash the like button so we can grow our VectorVest YouTube community. And if you have any questions, you can contact our product support 188-658-7638. And if you're not subscriber currently, call our support team and they'll be glad to set you up with a 30-day trial for just $9.95 US dollars. So thanks everyone for watching, and best of luck through the earnings season.